interviewing Patricia Lamis. I'm in Los Angeles, and Patricia, where are you?
In Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California. Good. Can you make great? So what does that say on your t-shirt?
Nasty women make history.
I like that. That's what we're doing. I
Yeah.
love that this is a legacy project, you know, that we're going to be in there forever. I like that idea.
Yeah, but all of us, yes.
Yes, I know. So where were you born?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Hmm?
It was a sheep farm, and my parents came to California because it was a golden state where they could make it.
Mm-hmm. What year was that they moved to California?
I was so small, I don't think I knew.
Did you have siblings?
Yes, I have 4 brothers, younger, and an older sister.
Wow, that's a pretty big family.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they have really disowned me, and they
How come?
passed on, most of them. But I don't want to go into that road.
Right. Well, you can acknowledge, was it because of your sexuality that they disowned you, or?
Yes,
Uh-huh. And how old were you at that time?
30 maybe, 30,
Really? Wow.
35.
Are there any other gays in your family that you're aware of?
I might have one younger brother that could be,
Mhm.
but I'm not positive.
Pretty common that it's a family issue,
Yeah.
but I'm so sorry you were disowned, but we're happy to own you. How about that?
My new family.
I guess, yes, that's right. I guess if we wait long enough, things work out. That was one of the things we started with, was talking about careers, but somebody said the other day we should talk about families, because we established our own families with our friends, and they're not all biologic connected.
Yes, definitely I had to do that.
Right.
And
Makes sense.
real supportive, which is good too.
Yeah, that is good. So you live in a high rise in Long Beach, you told me.
I live on the 9th floor of a low income housing unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been here a little over a year.
Oh, so it's new to you.
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of rules. And but I'm learning to live with the rules.
Uh-huh.
And learning other brothers and sisters that are here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nice also.
Right. Did you have friends that lived there prior to your deciding to move there?
No.
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 So what's your favorite fairy tale?
Wow. Fairy tale.
I can tell you have that spirit of adventure, so I wonder if it was in your fairy tale.
I can't think of one right this second.
You will. When it comes to you, let me know.
All right.
It could be like a Disney movie, just some fantasy kind of thing.
And my parents didn't read to me.
That what?
My parents didn't read to me.
No.
No.
Are they, how long have they been deceased?
Quite a few years now.
Uh-huh. And what was their religious background?
Oh my God.
Really, yeah.
Catholicism.
Was it? Uh-huh.
And, the Catholic Church is against Roe versus Wade, or for it.
Right.
Now, I went to parochial grade school and high school.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I decided as I got older is that they didn't really train us to think.
To think? Well, they didn't have to, because they could tell you how to do it.
That's what they did.
I also had a similar education. So it was all, the guidelines were all there, so you didn't have to
Yeah.
stretch your own imagination too much.
So life's been a learning experience.
Right. And then when you finished high school, where were you living then?
I got married
Oh, you did. Okay.
to a gay guy, but I
Mhm.
didn't know it
Hmm.
for about 5 years.
Hmm.
And I divorced him.
Hmm.
He went on to live his life, and I stayed with my grandmother for a while.
Hmm.
And
Were you out of high school then?
oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, barely.
Hmm.
But in those days, you had to get married right out of high school,
Right.
or you were questioned seriously why you weren't having a baby.
Right.
So,
Did you have any children?
no, I didn't. I either can't or he can't, or couldn't, excuse me.
Right.
So, no.
That might have been good. Huh.
Pardon me?
That might have been good.
Well, I don't think all that I went through, I would have been a good mother. I
Uh-huh.
think that there was just too much. Oh,
I don't think anybody knows that answer.
I just didn't financially have the money to take care of a child, and my lifestyle was changing. And when I got to be 30-ish, I kind of regretted that I didn't have a child and wanted to adopt. But at that time, gays and lesbians weren't allowed to adopt children.
Mhm.
And anyway, so that's the story.
Mhm. And when did you move into a career pattern? Did you work when you were in high school, or
Oh, I've always worked.
you're a worker?
Yeah, I put myself through. My parents didn't feel I needed an education. I was going to be a wife, and I put myself through UCLA in interior design, and
Really? Huh.
then I went on and got some associate degrees in public relations and writing.
How did you afford that?
How did I afford it?
Right.
Got a scholarship for part of it.
Uh-huh. Good.
And what money I made, I paid for the classes.
Hmm.
It was work and go to school all at the same time.
Hmm. I'd like to have you meet my partner, Marge. Marge? Yeah. She had a similar experience. Marge? Hi.
Marge.
She's the E of the collection.
Ah,
So I was telling her, her parents didn't support her in education, so she supported herself and got through UCLA and
Wow.
earned her own money. And it reminds me of your own struggle. So you
I paid my own way through
so
school.
they should educate you either.
I'm sorry?
Your parents didn't feel they should educate you either.
I don't know if they felt they should or they just didn't.
Ah,
My father lost his job, so he had no finances to assist. And it was my job, is what I wanted to go to school. So if you want to go to school, you pay for it.
well, I was the only one in my family that had any education at all.
Well, I have to say all my brothers and sisters, and I had 5 of them, got through college.
That's great.
2 of them I put through, and my older sister, they paid her way. And the brother just behind me, they paid his way.
Yeah, no, they all went into manual labor.
Wow, that's hard work.
Yeah,
Although, if you're an electrician or a
Tradesperson. sounds-
tradesperson, you're probably all right. A plumber, you'd probably do all right.
Yeah, they did all right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just my mother was just on it. She wanted all of her children college educated. I think that was because she was refused an education. But I don't know.
I don't know. You know, my parents only had a high school education, and they came from a sheep farm and a farm. And that now that I look back, I think that they just didn't know that I wanted to go to college. Um, but that was not in the cards for me until much later.
Yeah.
What was your first job out of college?
I worked for a design firm and was a project manager and an interior designer, ASID interior designer.
Mhm. Did you like it?
Yeah, I was constantly learning new things, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, I did.
You have a sense of style. I've noticed in all your pictures and everything that you send.
Oh, my partner did those. She has
Did she?
passed on. Um, and they're of me in different techniques she was trying.
I see.
I can't read the bottom of your
Oh.
t-shirt.
She make history. Nasty women make history.
Ah, very good. Very good.
I also have another one that says vote like you've never voted before.
So when did you get a divorce before you had that job as a designer?
No, I was a
No.
housewife, and I traveled alone to
Uh-huh.
meet him in North Carolina,
Wow, that's a lot of traveling.
Colorado, and we moved all over.
Mhm.
But he was in the military. He was a medic.
Mhm. Did you maintain contact with him after your divorce?
No,
No.
I really didn't find out for sure that he was gay until many, many years later.
Wow, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
housewives would come to me and say, your husband's gay. And at the time I thought, well, they're just confused. It's really
Right.
me.
Uh-huh.
But anyway,
Right. So then when did you become aware that you were a lesbian?
well, in high school, I fell in love with a high school sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew I was different.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what you called it or anything. And as the years went by, she went on to live a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so did I.
Mm-hmm. So did she come out as a lesbian?
No,
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 but you did.
yes.
Uh-huh.
When
When was your first significant relationship with a woman?
Well, I think it was Heather Ham, my 20-some year relationship that I finally got together enough to have a decent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Where
got
did you
yeah,
Where did you meet her?
in school at
Uh-huh. In
City,
college?
City College,
Uh-huh.
taking computer classes.
That was a good idea. You were very progressive. I should have been taking those classes.
Yeah, a lot of seniors were.
They were smart. So then you, was that your first significant relationship?
No,
No.
I a relationship with a very domineering older woman
Mhm.
that was real restrictive, and I had a hard time leaving that, but did.
Mhm. That's how a lot of women have started out, as I'm listening to their stories. You know, it could be a teacher or, but an older person. So,
Well, I accidentally came upon a lesbian bar called the Star Room. And went there, I don't know how many times, and was afraid to go in. And
what year was that?
oh,
Remember, we're establishing the legacy, the 70s, right?
mid to late 70s.
Mhm.
Anyway, I finally did go in and wouldn't drink because I was afraid I might get in trouble.
Mhm. Right.
And I had coffee and sat at the bar, and the bar had mirrors, and we would watch everything. But I was very feminine at that time. A feminine.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, I'm somewhat today.
So then, did you meet a person for a lover or just friends?
She immediately wanted it to be for intimate relationship. Um, and I was very needy.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Did you ever go to the Hialeah house?
no,
No.
Star Room was the one I went to.
Where was that? Was that in Torrance?
Gardena Compton area in an industrial area.
I think I went there.
Really?
Hmm.
Did you know the bartenders or anything?
No, I went there with a friend of mine who I worked with, and she took me there. So it was pretty intimidating.
Yeah, it is true. There,
Right.
I'll tell you that.
Mhm. No, that was one of my first experiences. Now, I'm a nurse, so we met other nurses, and I would work, and then we'd stay out till like 2, 3 in the morning. There were different lesbians entertaining at bars, and then we'd get up at 6 and go back to work. And
Oh, I know.
I could never
Some
do
of the
that
bars
now.
would have coffee, well, your drink in a coffee cup.
Right.
Closed.
But the bartenders were, they had their choice of anybody that was at that bar, because a lot of young women went there.
Yes, I know it. And there wasn't, it was all secret and very scary. I was intimidated by the, well, at that point, I didn't know what to call them, butches,
Uh-huh.
because they were so assertive.
Mhm.
But that's because I was so frightened.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
It never
police would
did
raid the
anything
bars too. I mean, the police love to come into the bars and scare everybody.
Oh, yeah, I had that happen. Yeah.
So it's not days that I want to repeat.
No.
Yeah.
Some I do, some I don't.
Right. So who's been a mentor to you along the way of your life?
Well, right now, I'd say the center, the
Uh-huh.
beach center for older seniors,
Mhm.
older adults, I think is what they call us.
Uh-huh.
That's a tough one.
Mhm.
During.
So then did you stay in the design business, or did you then develop other directions?
No, I became sick and couldn't do that anymore, and then decided to start a newsletter. We called it Woman's Brunch Bunch,
Uh,
and I did it for 10 years. It was a weekly email newsletter that put articles by others on religion, women's sports, legal things that were coming up, issues that were pertinent to both lesbians and gays.
Mhm.
And in those days, that's what we called. Actually, everybody was gay.
Right, right.
And
I remember when the word lesbian became part of the Gay and Lesbian Community Services Center, but they almost had to vote it in. So, and now it has so many initials, we'll have the whole alphabet in there soon. So what was your distribution on the newsletter?
it ended up after 10 years about 5,000.
Wow, that's incredible.
There was no way of knowing who was at the other end of the
Right.
newsletter.
Mhm.
And there was a disclaimer in the newsletter that that the receipt of this newsletter is not, well, whatever.
Right, I know what you mean.
Technical.
Doesn't mean you're homosexual.
Right.
Right.
Thank you for.
Right, that's right. So
And
then, what was the name of it? Do you have a copy of it? It was,
No, it's at the archives.
okay, good.
The One Archives and I think Mazer also.
Okay, good.
I was just learning the computer when I first started, and it was laborious as
Right.
far as hours and hours and hours of getting it out there. And then as it grew, there became problems with sending that many out at one time, but it got out.
Mhm.
And we did events. We did a Valentine dance, a fashion show.
So you had fun with it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
What was the name of it again?
Woman's Brunch Bunch.
That's great.
WOMYNZ.
Okay.
Brunch Bunch.
Mhm. And you had friends that were on your board that helped you put it out? It's a big effort.
I didn't have a board.
Uh,
No, I didn't have a board.
How did you prepare it for distribution?
I didn't distribute it other than email.
Uh-huh.
I did do hard copies at the very, very beginning,
Mhm.
and it just was too expensive.
Mhm. Right.
And a lot of women would come up to me and say, "Thank you, I needed that information,"
Right.
that were stranded somewhere. I have no idea where.
Uh-huh.
Well, stranded's a bad word. They weren't out of the closet, and they were getting encouragement as far as what was happening. This was right before gay marriage,
Mhm.
and there's quite a bit going on during that time.
Mhm. Well, I hope we don't lose that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you mentioned a relationship that was long-term relationship.
Yes.
And what was that person's name?
Heather Ham.
Heather Ham. Okay. HAMM.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And she got dementia,
Hmm.
but actually died of MRSA.
Really? Oh,
From at the very end, I had to move, and
so did she, you lived together for a long time?
22 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of the same interests,
Uh-huh.
and she started Women of 40 Plus, which is a group of women that still exists today. They used to meet at the center, which is the LGBT
Mhm.
Long Beach Center. But they left the center, and they're about my age, all of them, and they're no longer 40, but they still call themselves women of 40 plus. Well, at 19 or 20, I guess 19 or 20 years old, I traveled across the United States alone in a little car, and it was frightening, but it was mind-opening as far as realizing there was a lot more than just my little area.
Mhm.
And that's all I can think of right now.
That's an adventure. How many days did you take for that? Or months?
About a week. No, about a week.
Really, a week? You were moving fast. What kind of car did you have?
Triumph Spitfire.
Great. Do you have a picture of that car?
Oh, no, I have no pictures.
Too bad.
They're all gone.
They're all memories, huh?
Yeah.
Good. Nope.
And today I'm involved with Gray Panthers.
How do you know Carolyn Weathers?
She's my neighbor.
Uh-huh.
And two, she was the first lesbian to go on television and say she was lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Tuesday night bench cafe
Uh-huh.
where we get together and chit chat and sing sometimes, and she's quite the character. I collected action figures of females
Huh.
and discovered there were no ethnic action figures whatsoever at the time, and comic books of Superwoman or whatever it was at the time. And interior design seems so far away. Maybe the newsletter, the email newsletter.
Yeah, okay. You could say publisher.
Well, I didn't write it. I took articles and gave a link
Mhm.
for them to go read the article to see what they thought. Made little to no comment on it.
Mhm.
It was just to keep everybody thinking about what was going on.
You know, just to have that, I remember sitting in a lonely coffee shop and looking at the newsstand, and they had a copy of this thing called the Lesbian News. And so I picked it up, right?
That
And
influenced me.
it was great. So that is such a gift. Just, you know, you don't know a reach out of your gift like that. I mean, you had thousands of people on your mailing list. If you think everybody has 250 contacts, that's the statistics. Just that's thousands of people.
Well, Jinx Spears influenced me. I
Did
was
she?
so
Yeah.
impressed with what she was doing.
Mhm.
I thought, I want to do that.
So I think that that's a true gift.